Hello everyone and welcome on, and for something just a little bit different. While the best players in the world are battling it out in the desert heat of Doha, we're going to take a trip here to cold Cork, where it's not quite wet and windy like some of our viewers might have heard about Stoke City, but we are going to get some very good games on the line. The playground for today is of course Turner's Cross, home of Cork City, and a historic home at that. Speaking of history though, we are going to make some history today with the first ever Bring Your A Game Cup, where we have two teams taking part in a game of FIFA to battle it out to see who is the best duo in Ireland. But of course, to do that, we need some very special guests, and our guest today, taking on for team number one, Team Ciaran Walsh from Wylde, will be him joined by David Meyler. He spent some time at Sunderland, Hull City, and he's also made multiple caps for Ireland. On the other side, of course, though, we have Tyrone Welly. Let's hope Welly isn't based on his style of football, by the way, where he just hoofs it over the sideline. And he'll be joined by Stephanie Roche. Yes, the scorer of that goal that was up for the Puskas Award, and she's also made multiple caps for Ireland as well, 58 if I'm not wrong. She currently plies her trade for Peamount. So, what is on the line? Well, like I said, it is the Bring Your A Game trophy, the inaugural one that we're ever going to see, and these players, of course, are hoping to get their name on it. So, with that though, we also need a special guest, and the person joining me today will be a little bit more talented than me. His football resume is way more impressive, but before the grand reveal, we're going to jump to a quick ad break.
Every player has that one thing they need to compete at the highest level. What's yours? Bring your A game with 99.9% broadband reliability. Virgin Media. Bring on amazing.
So welcome back, everyone. And like I said, our guest joining me today is just a little bit better at football than myself. Not only is he better than myself, but he also does a little bit of work for Virgin Media. Welcome in Damien Delaney. How you doing, Damien?
Pretty good. Happy to be here.
Yes, so you've got a pretty impressive career so far. You know, you played over in the Premier League. You've made caps in the League of Ireland for Cork City as well as representing your country at the highest level. Not only that, you've done a little bit of work for Virgin Media. You do the Champions League and Irish Internationals. Esports, though, is that something that you ever thought that you'd be plying your trade to?
No, absolutely not. This is a new thing for me. I've never done it before, but I'm really looking forward to it. I've heard so much, and I've learned so much today from the guys, telling me how important their practice is, how much time they put into it, and obviously Virgin giving them the platform to do that. So I'm looking forward to it.
Do you know something? I'm the same. I'm really looking forward to these games. But the thing is, it is esports, and it is a little bit different, you know. But at the same time, these players, they are professionals. They do this 8-9 hours a day, similar to yourself. How important do you think it is for esports players to have a professional attitude and a professional mindset?
Look, in any walk of life or any industry, if you want to get good at something, you have to practice at it. Nobody's born good at anything. Everybody has to put the hard yards in, and the time and the effort, the dedication, the perseverance. And these guys made it to the top of their field. So I've no doubt the amount of time and effort that they've put in. So they have to be commended for that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that. Now, one question I do have, Damien, is you played for Crystal Palace. A lot of the players on that side, I know for a fact, are very into their FIFA.
Yeah.
When FIFA games came out, was there talk in the dressing room when it came to player stats, players' ratings? Like, you know, you're a bit of a pace merchant yourself. So,
yeah, listen, absolutely. It was a very big thing, those cards, when they came out with pace. And I know for a fact certain players phoned up and complained that those stats weren't quite correct. Some of them felt they were quicker than what they were. I can honestly tell you I've never even looked at my one. But look,
don't.
Thank God. But I can tell you, gaming was really, really big. There was a period in the Premier League where all of a sudden portable monitors with PlayStations were on the bus and lads had headphones on. And I think that was the day that card schools were finished, and it became about FIFA and team games, which is when I was glad that I retired.
Yeah, that's the kind of question I have, is when you're a professional footballer, you are going to have downtime, you know, when you're playing away games or, you know, before games. Was gaming something that a lot of the players would have done? Like, would there been a bit of, squad building in that sense from gaming?
Yeah, absolutely. I know for a fact the lads after training were talking about heading home and what time were they logging on at, and obviously had to find out what was going on, and they were logging in to play team sports together, and they had their headsets. So it was a prominent part of the game, especially towards the back end of my career. But as I said, you're on planes and buses for long periods of time, and before people would play cards or people would chat or whatever it was, but then these consoles started appearing on the tables in the buses, and guys were big into it.
Yeah, it's scary because I know a lot of the people here who might actually be involved in just playing FIFA in general. Sometimes you come across pro players with their special 99 overrated cards, so you do know that there is a lot of interest in it. But Damien, looking at today's games, it's a best of 3 series, so the teams are going to play each other 3 times.
Yeah.
To win the tournament, you need to win 2 of those games. What do you think the keys of success are for these sides tonight?
I think a good pairing. Your partner needs to be strong. Obviously, the 2 guys are professionals, or as close to professional as you're going to get. So I think it's all going to come down to our special guests and who puts in the best performance out of that. And looking at the history and I think experience is a big part of it as well. And I think Dave carries an awful lot more experience than Stephanie. So if I was a betting man, I know where I'd be putting my money.
Well, we will find out pretty soon, but we are going to have a little bit of a talk to our 2 sides. So first off will be Team Ciaran. They were called Team 1, but I've called them Team Ciaran. I hope everyone's okay with that over on the side. But we're going to jump to a quick break, and when we come back, we'll talk to the 2 players competing for Team Ciaran.
It's another professional sport. If you look at another athlete, they have all their equipment, they train, they compete. I have my equipment, I have my controller, my monitor, my broadband. You need to be healthy, you need to be physically fit. We did PT sessions, we talked to nutritionists. Any athlete does a warm-up before they compete, so eSports athletes should do the exact same.
And welcome back, everyone, to the game. And up first, we've got Team Ciaran. So with Ciaran, we've got David Meyler, 2 very skilled FIFA players, from what I've been led to believe. So Ciaran, first off, we're here in Turner's Cross. What's it like to play in the stadium?
Yeah, it's amazing. This is where you want to play these big games, big moments. Obviously, a lot of history here with the actual football team, Cork City FC, and I represented them in the League of Ireland. So it was that was my first big tournament. It's like a full circle moment to come back here and to now have this match today.
Yeah, it's one of the things about this broadcast that we keep noticing is Cork City comes up quite a bit, as David will talk about a little bit later. But for this game, there's some bragging rights at stake. You're taking on not only a teammate, but a rival for Tyrone. So how much prep have you done about his style of play and what you can maybe do to win this one?
Yeah, no, I've been keeping an eye on him now, and I've been putting in the hours practicing over the last few days with this in mind. Obviously, I know David is a good FIFA player himself, so I was happy to be paired up with him. But I think we'll take Tyrone down.
And what are the expectations there? Are you going for a Team Ciaran win?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, no, without a doubt. I think once we get warmed up and start getting settled into the games, I think we can run riot.
Yeah. So one last question before we jump to David is, I pointed it out already. Your teammates, you both play for Team Wylde, but it's a very different side of sports where you're teammates, but you're also rivals. What's it like living in that kind of world where not only do you have to look after each other all the time as mates, but you're also competing against each other for the same things?
Yeah, it's difficult, and you're fighting against each other, and in tournaments and for opportunities and things like that. But I think because me and Tyrone are both great players, I think we push each other on to be that much clearer of the rest of the competition. And I think that's really good to have someone that's on that top level with you to drive you on to be better overall. Yeah,
well, speaking of the top level, we're going to talk to David Meyler next. So there's a lot of pressure being put on you already. Ciaran has said that you're very good at FIFA. I've heard it from a couple of members of the staff that you're very good at FIFA as well. I have watched your Twitch streams, so I'll not give my opinion just yet, but how excited are you for tonight's games?
Well, I want you to give your opinion now.
Just 1v1 later and we'll see what it's like.
Oh, that's no problem.
Well, look, this is your old stomping ground. You played here for a while. What's it like to be back? Does it give you that feeling of being at home?
It does. It's obviously very strange. Even as I come through, my earliest memories of coming here as a child, coming to watch Cork City with my dad, and then I came back with my schoolboy club, College Corinthians, to playing cup finals. Then obviously I represented Ireland here in 2016 before the Euros. To now come back to play FIFA at a place that's 4 or 5 miles from home is It's a bit strange, but it's something. When I got the phone call and asked to do it, I jumped at it, and I'm excited, and I'm looking forward to when the FIFA starts.
Yeah, so Damien spoke a lot in the pre-show about gaming, the gaming culture when it comes to football. How did you get into gaming? Was it a case of you played along with the teammates, or did you kind of grow up gaming?
I grew up gaming. It's something I've done from such a young age. I remember I was fortunate to get a PlayStation for one of my birthdays when I was younger, and I kind of got into it, and I played with all my friends. Obviously, then when I moved to England, I had a lot of downtime, as most professional footballers do. Some go down different avenues of going out or getting into horse racing and what have you. I gamed an awful lot, and I kind of got to the point where I was playing against my friends back home, and I wanted to beat them comfortably. So I entered into FUT Champions and Weekend League to try and improve myself. The next one, and I knew during titles FIFA 17, 18, 19, I was in the top 100 in the world. Then you've got young pups like these lads coming up, which is ever moving, and they're getting better and better, and they put an awful lot of time and dedication into it. I've got 2 young kids myself, so I don't have as much time to put in, but I still play quite a bit.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone's seen it, but off camera, when you said you were in the top 100 in the world, Stephanie just went, yeah, I don't know what she's quite got herself into with this one. But in addition to gaming, you do a lot of streaming. So, you pride yourself on that. And one of the things that people who stream pride themselves on is their presentation and their background. You've got a pretty special one. You've got jerseys in the background from, people you've played against and done swaps with. Out of all the jerseys you have, what's your most prized possession in that room?
Oh, I've got 16 shirts up, all different. You've got Hazard, Pogba, David Silva, Yaya Toure, Steven Gerrard, Frank Lampard, Paul Scholes. But my favourite one of the lot would be Lionel Messi's. I know I'd never played against Messi, but a friend of mine played against Messi in the Champions League, and I asked him to get me the shirt, and he got me a shirt. Messi's my favourite player. He's incredible. For me, in my opinion, he's the best of all time. Some may disagree. Any United fans watching would probably pick Ronaldo, but that shirt is it's my most prized possession.
So you're telling me that Damien Delaney is not your favourite footballer of all time?
I actually, for a long period of time, I did have shirts in my house up, and Damien's Crystal Palace shirt was there. I still have it all framed up and that, but the wife wanted him out of the house and into my office. But I still have Damien's shirt. I don't know, has he still got mine? But I've got his.
I'll ask him when he's back on the screen. So final question before we talk to the other team is, obviously professionalism is something that has really become prevalent in esports these days. How much do you think that professional mindset and work life, life balance, eating well, sleeping well, how much do you think that could maybe impact esports players as well?
100%. Like Damien touched on it there at the top of the show. Like, in order for them to get to the level where they are, they have to dedicate themselves. That's time, effort, the practice, like the long hours, they put that in. But there's also on the flip side that you need your rest and your recovery. You need that nutrition. It's been well documented with successful esports players and teams that they have to get the right sleeping schedules. They have to be eating correctly. You can't afford to be having fast foods because you become sluggish. And obviously they want to be sharp. They want to be alert. These games are fast tempo. They average 12 minutes for a full game. You have to be alert for that, because at their level, the smallest mistake could cost you a place in a tournament. It could cost you the tournament. So those small little details matter enormously. So I imagine throughout the entire work, they're probably focusing on all assets of how to be a professional and how to maintain that level.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. And with esports players as well, performance is where most of the money and prizes come from. So that was Team Ciaran. But we're going to jump into a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to talk to Team Tyrone.
For every gamer and every esports player, you need to put in a lot of hours, a lot of grind. You need to have some amount of natural ability, but it will never just carry you through. I mean, professional gaming is so competitive. You need to be fully focused. I think you need a lot of mental toughness. I train, I practice, I get better, and I compete.
So Team Tyrone up next, which is a strange one for me to see as a proud Donegal man. But anyways, we do have Tyrone here, joined by Stephanie. How are you guys doing?
Grand, yeah. I think I have a lot to worry about now after hearing David's in the top 100 FIFA players. I wasn't told that before I got here, but looking forward to it.
Yeah, but he's never scored a goal that's been up for the Puskas Award, so you can always hold that one against him. And Tyrone, for you as well, it is a case where you're playing against your teammate. You heard him talking, he's done his research on how you're playing. How do you feel as the #1 rated player in Ireland to be taking on your teammate along with someone as good as Stephanie Roche?
I feel confident going into today. Just like Mr. Welly, like he's second best in Ireland, but I know I'm the best, and we're going to win this game today.
I like those confident words. So we are here at Turner's Cross, one of the biggest stadiums in the League of Ireland. What's it like for you to get a chance to play a game of FIFA inside one of these hallowed grounds of football?
It's amazing. I've done it before. I went to Portugal to play in the Benfica stadium, so I've been here before. But it's honestly so surreal, and I can't wait to get going.
And I think one of the big things about this event is it is being picked up by one of the big national broadcasters with Virgin Media. How cool for you as an esports player is it to see a national broadcaster in Ireland finally take some interest in esports?
Yeah, it's mad. Like it's good for the country, and hopefully esports can kick on in Ireland, because no one even really kind of knew about it or followed it, but now hopefully they will do.
So that's a question then. You spoke about nobody in Ireland really talking about esports. Grandparents, people in your little town, when you tell them you're a professional gamer, you work in esports, what sort of a reaction do you kind of get?
They kind of wouldn't believe you at first. They'd be like, oh, is that the actual game FIFA? And you have to tell them then, but hopefully they'll know now.
Well, there you go. And I want to talk to you, Stephanie, a little bit. So I think that goal that we spoke about a few times already did so much for Ireland, and in particular women playing football and sports in Ireland. Whenever you've kind of been playing for your country, one of the big things for you is being an idol for kids growing up. What advice would you have to maybe young people in Ireland looking to get involved with sports, whether it be traditional sports or esports?
I think just go for it. I think the good thing nowadays is that more boys and girls are playing sports, and more boys and girls are being encouraged to play sports. For me growing up, I just had really male role models. So I think now to have young boys and girls having more female role models as well is good. But yeah, I think just and as the guy said before, if you really want to do well at something, you got to work hard and you got to be dedicated to it. So just something you want to really be good at, you got to go and give it your best shot.
You definitely do. So gaming then, let's talk a bit about that. Do you game much yourself, Stephanie? Is it something you're into?
To be honest, when I was growing up, I used to play all the time. My cousins and my brothers used to play tournaments of FIFA together, and I played quite a lot. But obviously, with work and college and everything else you go through as you're growing up, I kind of got away from it a little bit. The last couple of months, I kind of got back into it a little bit more. So I'm obviously not as experienced as the guys. I'm hoping I won't be that bad that I let Tyrone down. Obviously, he's speaking really positively, so hopefully I'll be able to hold my own. But yeah, as I said, not quite as often as I used to, but definitely have a little bit of interest in it.
So we touched a little bit on FIFA stats when we were talking to Damien. And as we're going to put you on the spot, if you were to put yourself in FIFA or create your own card, what sort of stats would you give yourself? What do you think would be the highest, or what do you think you could work on?
I suppose my finishing would probably be good, wouldn't it? I think that's obviously as a forward, that's kind of what I'd base it on. I think from what you said to Damien, I'm guessing you're saying his pace is going to be slow. I reckon my pace wouldn't be that high either. I think my brain works faster than my feet, to be honest. But yeah, I'd say probably my finishing would be the best, I hope.
I'd say so. It'd definitely be up there. So it is 2v2s. It's not your traditional 1v1 game. I know that the two guys from Wylde have experience playing in 2v2s before. But you got to say, teamwork probably has a lot more of an impact on this in communication. How excited are you to play in this game? And are you going to be working really hard on those in-game comms, or will we hear some complaints?
Yeah, I'm hoping to kind of keep my emotions to myself, but I think we were talking about it earlier, and obviously Tyrone's the best in Ireland, so I think it's going to be a case of if I'm playing with Messi, I'm going to give the ball to Messi, and Tyrone's going to be my Messi today, so I'm just going to hopefully get the ball, pass it to him, and let him work his magic.
Love it, absolutely love that. So that was Team Tyrone. We're going to bring in the one and only Damien Delaney just after this quick break to talk about this upcoming game a little bit more.
It's a 99% mental game and 1% skill-based game. You need to believe in yourself that you can win the big tournaments and that you can compete against the best players in Europe and the world. We have our internet broadband, our PS5, our gaming chairs, our monitors. We need that to bring our A game to the table and win as many games as possible.
Welcome back on, everyone. So, Damien, we've spoken to both the sides. We've heard what they've had to say about the upcoming fixture. Based on what you've heard from both teams, do you think there's one that's maybe going to get the edge against the other?
Yeah, Team David, I think, as I said at the top of the show, I think experience is going to count for a lot. No disrespect to Stephanie, but I think if you've not put in the hours and the long, hard hours and late nights, and I think David's certainly done that, so I think he's pretty adept at his game. So I would have to go with Team David, yeah.
But one question, is that Corkonian bias, or do you think we're saying that from the heart?
Well, the man just said he had my jersey on his wall, and his jersey is on my wall as well at home. It's the only jersey on my wall at home. So I had to give him a shout for that.
I love it. Well, look, it is a best of 3. We spoke about that already. These teams are going to play each other in 3 matches where 2 will win the Bring Your A Game Cup. In a best of 3, I think the main thing is, if you lose the first game, it's not doom and gloom. So how important do you think, though, it is to get off to a good start?
No, start is everything in every sport, so you want to win the first game. But also, if you do win the first game, you know you're going to get a reaction from your opponent in the second game, and then momentum's a big one. If your opponent can win the second game, tied at 1-1, then they've got the momentum going into the final game. So it can work both ways. But ultimately, I think the most talented team will come out on top over the case of best of 3. In a one-off game, of course, anything can happen. Mistakes can be made. But I think when you're doing a best of 3, you will always find the best.
So you spoke about the best teams and that several times. The games that we have coming up, they're obviously going to be influenced by not only the people that are playing, but they're going to be influenced by the teams that they put on the pitch as well. Knowing what you know, we're not going to ruin the spoiler for everyone else yet by saying what teams will be playing, but knowing what you know, are there any of those matchups where you think could be very one-sided based on the teams that are playing?
No, I think both teams, from what I can gather, they're rated reasonably the same. The first game is definitely going to bring back some nostalgia for a certain generation of people. So I'm looking forward to that. But I think the teams are rated quite fairly. So again, it'll come down to whoever's the best team. And I'm looking forward to seeing who it is.
Yeah, well, speaking of good teams, we are joined, as I keep saying, by Wylde. Now, we have one of the co-owners of Wylde that we're going to talk to at some point so we can get to know a little bit more about this Irish organisation. So while I go run off and get myself ready for that interview with Steve, and we're going to throw up another video on the screen, and when we come back, we'll have an interview with Steve from Wylde.
Every player has that one thing they need to compete at the highest level. What's yours? Bring your A game with 99.9% broadband reliability. Virgin Media. Bring on amazing.
Well, we are back, and by the magic of television, we're in the stand here now at Turner's Cross, and I am joined by Steve from Wylde. So, Steve, we know each other quite well. This isn't our first time bumping into each other.
No, we've known each other for probably 18 months at this stage, and it's been a pretty wild journey.
Is that a pun? Was that on purpose?
Bad one, but it's definitely on purpose.
I love it. So, let's talk about esports in Ireland a little bit. Wylde's still a pretty new organisation when it comes to esports. So, Steve, what gave you the inspiration to create the organisation and then to go with the name of Wylde?
There was a lot of thought that actually went into this. Wylde stands for what you love doing. Everybody assumes that the E stands for esports. It actually stands for empowerment, excitement, entertainment, and everyone. So what Wylde was formed to be was to be an all-inclusive Irish-based esports organisation that wanted to compete and is competing on the global stage.
Yeah, speaking of competing on the global stage, you have a team that's doing pretty well right now. They're going to take arms in a big tournament next week. But we're here to talk about FIFA. And the 2 lads that you've signed, you're obviously very excited about it. Tyrone and Ciaran are very, very good, talented Irish players. I want to know how that came to be that they signed for Wylde and how important it is for you to have Irish players representing the org.
It's really important. We identified both Tyrone and Ciaran 18 months ago when Wylde was launched, and we've put a lot of time and effort and energy. They've worked with fitness, PT, psychologists. They were lucky enough to work with Bernard Dunn in the early stages. They've had interactions with our Chief of Inspiration, Usain Bolt, and we've helped them develop. They competed in the first inaugural E-League of Ireland, and luckily for us, even though there were half a dozen or nearly a dozen competitors, they ended up against each other in the final. So there's a good competitive rivalry between the 2 of them, and they continue to develop as athletes because they're training really hard and are hungry to succeed.
Yeah, it's something I got to say is they are performing very well in the scene, and I think there's definitely been growth since they've joined the org as well, because obviously it's down to the org to give these players the platform to get better every day. Speaking of platforms and improving though, you've recently opened up the Wylde Academy, which I know is a bit of a passion project for yourself.
Yeah, so we've been very fortunate to partner with Virgin Media, and we worked and built a relationship with them over the last 18 months. And something that's really important to us and them is empowering talent, and having a physical base on this island that facilitates people to see what's possible if they commit to esports and train hard enough, but also a physical base where our professional teams as well as aspiring talent can come and train.
Okay, so you touched on Usain Bolt a little bit earlier. Usain Bolt, obviously, he has a bit of a soft spot for Ireland. I know that over the past he's been here a few times. How did that connection come up? Because it's not one you'd expect to see every day.
So Usain actually has never been to Ireland, but we're working on that. So stay tuned for that one. He wanted to align with an esports organisation, and there are certain things which I mentioned before which are really important to him and us in terms of empowering youth in talent, exciting fans, and competing at the highest level in terms of competition. We worked with him over a period of time building that level of trust and a relationship, and he aligns with what we're doing. He wants to try and empower talent and use what he's done to do that. And he sees the direction of travel in terms of esports, being at the Commonwealth Games this year, being at Invictus Games, and recently there was an announcement in terms of the Olympic movement and esports aligning much more readily. But not only that, in terms of just the competitive scene that's happening in esports around the world, it's really exciting. And Darren, you've seen parts of the world that you never thought you were going to see over the last 12 months.
Yeah, and hopefully I'll get to see a little bit more. But before we wrap up, I have two more questions for you, Steve. The first one, next 2 to 3 years, what's your vision for esports in Ireland?
I think if we're successful and find great partners like Virgin Media that can showcase the talent that's on this island, I think it'll provide pathways to people to really believe in terms of going and chasing their dreams, and trying to compete at the highest level in whatever title that they feel most comfortable in.
So now the last question I have, and this is going to be a tough one for you as the org owner, because I'm basically going to ask you to choose between like two of your children, something that you probably know people find tough to do, but Team Ciaran or Team Tyrone? I
was actually going to say that if I was going to bet on who's going to win tonight, I'd probably put a bet on England. I think Wylde are going to do pretty well tonight. And I think I should leave it there, or else I'm going to get in trouble.
Okay, so there you have it. We're not going to get any hot takes from the owner of Wylde. But look, the time for talking about tonight's games is over. We're going to get ready to walk our players in ahead of this fixture.
Every player has that one thing they need to compete at the highest level. What's yours? Bring your A game with 99.9% broadband reliability. Virgin Media, bring on amazing.
Have it on the hallowed turf of Turner's Cross. We have our teams taking the field of play. Team 1, Team Ciaran, will be him and Stephanie Roche, joined by Tyrone, who will be playing along with David Meyler. So the question is, have these players brought their A game ahead of tonight's games? Well, the time to talk is over. Let's have our players take their seat, pick up their controllers, and get ready to game.
Every player has that one thing they need to compete at the highest level. What's yours? Bring your A game with 99.9% broadband reliability. Virgin Media, bring on amazing.
So guys, here we are. Game number 1 is at the ready, where we have Ireland taking on Romania. Any thoughts going into this one?
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to this one. Looking forward to getting settled in, getting those first few passes and things off. Yeah, I think once me and David get into a bit of a rhythm, we start figuring out what we're going to do. I think we can really push on from there and start hammering in a few goals.
So People would always say that the hardest thing about any game is actually getting on the pitch. You know, once you're there, things get a little bit easier. Do you think it's going to be the same here, David, or do you think that the hardest part's yet to come?
The time for talking is done.
Yeah. Yeah, here. Well, look, that's team one. We're going to move over and have a chat to the competitors once more. So, Tyrone, you're sat down. It's very intimate here now. You know, a little bit more intimate than we were before. How are you feeling about this fixture?
Very confident, very confident. We're going to go in, attack, score goals, win, and like David said, it's time to go. Less talking.
Well, there you go. So, Stephanie, I've asked the same question to David. Is it going to be easier once we get up and running, or do you think that this is the hard part now?
Well, I feel like the lads have been putting me off all day, so I don't have anything to lose, have I? At this point.
So, team one, we'll talk a little bit of Ireland. They're going to be one of the teams taking part in this game. Who do you think the most important player on this Ireland side is going to be?
Jesus, I don't know. Haven't a clue. None of them, because they're not going to score one goal and we're going to win the game. Easy clean sheet. I predict 3-0 first game.
3-0 first game. So, based on how confident you're saying, even though it's a best of three, you think this one's going to be wrapped up after two?
Yeah.
There you go, the man, a few words, but he's pretty confident. So while our players get their lineups up and running, we are going to get ready to kick into game number one. So welcome back, everyone, to this game. So I'm joined again by Damien Delaney. Damien, you spoke about the nostalgia of this fixture, Ireland against Romania. For maybe some of the viewers at home, you know, because the eSports viewers are a little bit younger than maybe some of the other people who could be watching. Why is Ireland-Romania such a big fixture?
Ireland played Romania, Italia 90. Seminal kind of tournament or moment for myself growing up as a 9-year-old boy in Cork. The name Timofte, who was the goalkeeper for Romania at the time, was probably a name that will be etched in my name forever. And that famous Paki Bonner save. I believe that they're playing the current Ireland team and the current Romanian team, but still, whenever you hear Ireland v Romania, it brings back memories of Ireland against Romania at Italia 90.
Well, you spoke about that Paki Bonner save as being something you always remember. I'm a proud Donegal man.
Yeah.
Paki Bonner from that part of the world. But my first big World Cup memory was the Robbie Keane goal against Germany, where Shay Given, another Donegal man, was in goal. But speaking of the Ireland teams that have been playing over the years, we're looking at the current version of that squad now. You got to say there's a lot of reason for for some optimism. You know, the players might be rated too highly today in the game, but there's definitely a lot of talent in that squad.
Absolutely, Ireland are always adept at producing players that can acquit themselves on the world stage. You know, look back through our history, we've always produced players. At the moment now, it's just about getting it in the right shape, and hopefully the results will come, and we can get back qualifying for major tournaments.
And Romania then. We're talking about their side, a little bit of the dark horse maybe going into this game. Rating pretty similar to Ireland, but obviously being, you know, living and working in Ireland, we're going to be a little bit more familiar with the teams on the Ireland sheet.
Yeah.
How much do you think that could be difficult for Team 2 with setting up the Romania side?
I'm not sure. I think the guys are going to set the team up how they want. You know, you won't be stuck with a Romanian type team, as their guys are beavering away there in the background, setting their teams up. That's exactly what they will be doing. But ultimately, it's up to the guys with the controllers in their hand, because they're the ones that control the players. The ratings are very, very similar. So I imagine that the four lads there will have to take responsibility. There'll be no finger pointing or blaming here.
So then, Team 1 is obviously Ireland. We're going to be a little bit biased. You know, we're on cast. We have to be biased. We have to support Team Ireland to win this one. How important is a good start? Because obviously, you know, from FIFA, getting in behind nice and early can have a big impact, same as it would be in real football as well. How important do you think it is for these teams to come out of the traps running? Yeah,
pretty important. But also listening to the two professionals talking, you know, tactical play a huge part. You know, which is something you wouldn't necessarily think or naturally think. But the boys were talking about systems outside. I was overhearing what they were saying, and they're talking about 4-2-3-1s and wingers and players coming inside. So it's obviously a huge part of what they do. And any modern football, especially any system you pick, is trying to establish dominance. You're trying to create numerical advantages. That's what when I do the Virgin Champions League games, that's what we look for. And by the very sound of it, that's exactly what they do as well. So both teams are going to have to pick their formation, and then it's about establishing dominance and dominating the ball and creating as many chances as possible and then scoring.
Well, that is the key. Now, speaking of chances, we're going to take this chance to jump into a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about the game.
Every player has that one thing they need to compete at the highest level. What's yours? Bring your A game with 99.9% broadband reliability. Virgin Media. Bring on amazing.
It's another professional sport. If you look at another athlete, they have all their equipment, they train, they compete. I have my equipment, I have my controller, my monitor, my broadband. You need to be healthy, you need to be physically fit. We did PT sessions, we talked to nutritionists. Any athlete does a warm-up before they compete, so eSports athletes should do the exact same.
Every player has that one thing they need to compete at the highest level. What's yours? Bring your A game with 99.9% broadband reliability. Virgin Media. Bring on amazing.
And we are back, and we are getting ready to jump into the game. Our two teams are just doing the final little bits to edit their sides ahead of the fixture. But Damien, I want to take this little moment to talk about professional football. You spoke about strategy and tactics. You played centre half at an incredibly high level through all your career, which means apart from the goalkeeper, you see more of the football than anyone else when you're looking forward. How important is communication and being able to adjust those tactics during the game and being a leader on the field?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, the guys with the controllers in their hands, they're the players, but they're also the managers. If they feel that there are numerical advantages being created and they're getting overloaded in certain areas, they have to think on their feet while also playing the game. I suppose managers are stood on the sideline, they can see it happening and they have time to change it. But I suppose as an experienced player, myself when I was playing at centre-back, you can see everything. Maybe you can make some slight adjustments or be vocal with your communication. And I think communication between these guys, both teams tonight, is going to be very, very important. But as I said, these guys have an awful lot on their hands tonight, and we're looking forward to see how it pans out.
Can't wait. Cannot wait. I really cannot wait. And they're just doing the final little changes. So you spoke about playing against very good players. These are the top two players in Ireland, but you played centre half in the Premier League. You played centre half for Ireland. You've played against some of the best players in the world. Who has been the biggest handful out of any player you've ever played in your career?
Yeah, it's a question I get asked quite a bit. The most difficult one I probably ever played against was Luis Suarez in, I think it was 2014 for Liverpool when he scored all those goals. He had an amazing season for Liverpool, but he was just ultra aggressive, very, very, very hard working, very, very dedicated player, and he didn't get a moment's peace. So he was probably the most difficult that I found to play against in my career, and obviously the neat and tidy, tricky wingers as well were very, very difficult. So, I suppose that list could go on quite a while because there was quite a few players gave me some problems.
Well, look, I think one of the best things about playing for Crystal Palace at the time was you got to practice your defending. It was good times though. You spent a lot of time in the Premier League. You were part of the success that they've been having. I can't remember for the life of me the last time they weren't playing in the Premier League, and you had a big part to do with that. So you would have played in a lot of very good venues in your time in the Premier League. What's your favourite place to play football in, and why?
Well, I suppose if you ask me for a Premier League ground, I'm big on history, and growing up as a kid, watching Premier League, stadiums like Old Trafford, Anfield, they hold a huge, huge kind of significance in my life because I watched so many great games there, and then those venues are spoken about in such high regard. So whenever I got to go to those types of stadiums, it was very, very special to me. But if you were to pick one stadium that you could play in, it would have to be Wembley. As an arena, that new stadium. I was fortunate enough to play there a number of times in some important games. But to play in that stadium in 90,000 people, where there's so much at stake, was pretty special. And as a venue, it's got to be up there with the best in the world.
It definitely is, and that's the thing too. When you're playing in a venue like that, it's not a 80-20 crowd split like you would have in a regular Premier League game. It was a 50-50 split. How did that leave the atmosphere in those games? Because obviously it's probably very different than playing a regular home or away game.
Yeah, look, the team I played for, Crystal Palace, had very, very vocal fans. You know, they're very, very colourful. They put a lot of effort and a lot of time into creating flags and a certain atmosphere. Anyone that's been to Selhurst Park will know that. So to walk out and to see, as you said, the 50-50 split was incredible. I was always very proud of our fans, though.
Definitely, our Crystal Palace fans do make quite a bit of noise. But look, the time for talk is over. Our players are ready to get jumped inside of this game. So we have it. Romania taking on Ireland. Damien, you've said it's going to be an Ireland one?
Yeah, I think so. As I said, experience is going to play a huge role here tonight. Stephanie's looking at me again. I feel like we're almost bullying Stephanie at this stage.
But this is the thing, you keep speaking about Stephanie. She's obviously had a massive impact on the women's game.
Yeah.
And you look at media coverage over the last year or two as well.
Yeah.
It's right at the forefront now again. And for, young girls who want to be professional footballers, it's a fantastic time.
Well, any sport that wants to improve. We're off. We're ready to go.
We're running. So look, normally with these things, Damien, we're very professional. We have a bit of fun. But I think we're going to have fun with this cast. So if you see anything that's going wrong, feel free to tell the viewers.
All right.
So one thing I will say is you've got two players playing in a duos format. So with that, communication is key. You don't want two players taking two different centre halves and chasing down the same player. So with this being a very open little venue that we have here at Turner's Cross, these players...
hang on. Ireland have given it away a couple of times in this. They've turned over possession. Overplaying in their own half. So
chance now running down the wing, but there's nobody in the box. Looking to get Obafemi making a run, but the ball is played inside. Pass is played in, but no, it's going to go straight back to the goalkeeper. But all the action so far, Damien, coming down that left wing.
Yeah, absolutely. Lovely little move there by Ireland, working it well into Callum Robinson. Tried a neat and tidy reverse pass into defeat. Didn't quite come off though. And here come Romania now on the attack.
Ball won back with Ireland now with space to drive into, and they've got a bit of an overload here. You've got a player free.
There's a spare player in the middle
of the box.
2v2.
There's the pass played again. Oh, but it's cut out and maybe just delayed that pass a little bit too long.
Brilliant defending. Read it. They were caught in a 3v2 against there. Fair play to Romania. They spotted it, and another. There you go. Look, you got 4v4 here on the edge of the box. Oh, that's a free kick. That's edge of the box, that is.
So one thing I've noticed already, Damien.
Yeah.
I'm being very positive about the attacking plays, but you're obviously praising the defending as the free kick's about to be hit. Ball's played. Oh, it's cut out, but is that a little bit of bias as we have our first goal of the game?
Seamus Coleman.
Got a goal, man.
Yeah, well done, Seamus.
What a player.
I tell you, it was an interesting routine there with the quick free kick or the short free kick on the edge of the box. I was fully expecting a shot, but they worked it really well. Ball falls their way to get a little bit fortunate there, and Seamus swings the right leg at it, and 1-0 Ireland.
It's always been known to have that goal scoring touch, hasn't it?
Or kicking the flag with a celebration as well. Seamus isn't that type.
But yeah, it's one of those things. He's a player that I think you definitely want in your Ireland squad in FIFA because he does bring some very good defensive stats into the game. It's something I think most Ireland squads have had down the years, is a pretty solid defensive line.
Yeah, absolutely. We always produce really, really good centre-halves. We always produce really, really good goalkeepers as well. And here come Ireland again. It's pretty one-way traffic at the moment. Romania need to start hanging in there, get a grip of this, get some possession.
Ball played forward again, but Seamus Coleman is there to cut that one out as it makes its way into the centre circle. He's got a man out wide, so he plays it to Coleman. He's got some support on the wing from Callum Robertson, plays it into Obafemi, but he's just out-muscled as the two-man press comes in. But you look at Romania on the ball, Damien, there's not a lot of options. The Irish midfield is really pressed up.
Yeah, I mean, and pretty much all the games have been played in this half there. They're turning the ball over very, very cheaply. They work it really well again. So Benny, I think it was there with the shot. Good block. Yeah, Romania need to start getting hold of this, take control of this game, because at the moment, turning over one another time there in their own half, only inviting pressure.
A little bit of space, but the ball played will be cut out by Romania in the midfield, and they work it out to the wing. There is a man running through the middle, but he will go offside, so the long ball can't quite be played just yet. And the ball is won by Ireland again on the midfield, and Obafemi has a chance to go one-on-one with his man. Driving into the ball box, little ball roll, plays it inside to the middle, but the chance for a shot is gone, and it's once again a good bit of two-man pressing at the edge of the box.
Yeah, Romania getting numbers back there, crowding out Ireland. They're working really, really hard here, and they have an opportunity. Ball given away by John Egan. Oh!
There was nothing else on, though. He picked the ball up on the wing.
He done brilliant. He won it back out here on this near touchline and worked inside really well. Just couldn't quite squeeze it inside the post. Positive from Romania.
Chance now for Romania again as they work it down the wing. The ball played over the top will find its way into the box, but it is very good defended from Collins to Cullen. Plays it forward now to Callum Robinson. He's got himself a man going down the line again. That is James McLean, and this is maybe an area where James McLean might have been more effective a couple of years ago in his career.
Yeah, you saw that there where he checked out and went back to start again. James would normally just push that ball in a 1v1 situation out wide. Wonderful stuff there from Collins. Great read, interception. Set Ireland off in the attack again. Callum Robinson now.
Driving into the box, he's got a man coming inside. That is Obafemi. Obafemi with the shot, but it's well gathered in goal by Nietzsche there, the Romania goalkeeper. But it does seem like this Ireland squad, as the ball is kicked straight out of play, it's a lot of the success that the Ireland are having, this team owner having in this game, is definitely using the width of the pitch.
Yeah, I think so. The wingers are very, very prominent. I think they're just having that extra pass again. A lot of possession on the edge of the Romanian box, and they just seem to want that extra pass. I think you might be better off having a pot shot from distance. They're finding it hard to break down this Romanian team. They've settled well, in fairness, Romania, after conceding that early opener. They've worked their way back into it, and they'll think they should be level with that shot that hit the post.
Yeah, and they win the ball in midfield with a chance, but the ball's played forward too soon again, and it's just very easy for Ireland to build the play from the back. So Colin now, he's got a couple of men around him, so he's going to be forced to play it inside to Callum Robinson. Gets the run on the overlap again, but good defending once more. The keeper can't quite stop that one from going out for a corner. So we're going to have our first corner of the game.
Ireland opting to go short here. 2v1 out wide. Can they work an opportunity to get a shot away? There you go.
Ooh. So with that, we have the end of the first half, and David obviously get a little bit vocal. It's one thing I have noticed from the side is David gets very animated when things are going well.
Yeah. I know, but I think Romania will be happy with the way that game started. I thought Ireland were going to run away with it, but they dug in, they hung in there, and even worked the best chance of the half, really, when they hit that post. So here we see some fidgeting going on. Romania obviously seeing some tactical imbalances, and they're going to try and level that up. Maybe they've recognised what you said there, that Ireland are having an awful lot of joy. James McLean and Ogbene Wide having an awful lot of joy out there. Maybe Romania will do something to try and counteract that and get a foothold in this game.
Notice a little change to the Ireland setup too. Coleman's going to sit a little bit deeper this half and going to leave Ogbene up on the wing. I'm sure. Look, we're getting some abuse. We're getting some abuse here from the players.
Seamus is pushing on now. Maybe David's seeing that, and Seamus doesn't quite have the legs he used to, so they're a bit more of a withdrawn role.
Ball won back again in midfield, but little collision as two players end up on the ground, and Romania will get the ball down the left wing. There's a run inside, and it's well found. So now you have Russ driving towards the byline. He's got support inside, but he goes to cut it back to the edge of the box, and Ireland win the ball again. So 49 minutes gone on this one. What do you think of the way this game has been going so far?
Yeah, it's pretty even, if I'm being honest with you. There's a lot of talk before this dominance and whitewashing and stuff, but Romania are very much in this, and they're on the attack here. Can he get a shot off there?
A little bit of skill.
Brilliant bit of skill. Oh, they've worked that brilliantly. Well done. Steph, was that you? I thought I saw that with the pirouette there and the chop and the drag back. Well, excellent bit of skill there. Really, really well. I thought the opportunity had passed.
Well, the sides are level, and Ireland making a couple of mistakes on the ball after that early one, so Romania would need to take some advantage. Another good throw as they've got a chance to drive in towards the box.
They're in.
It's chipped up, the ball's taken down in the chest, and it's firing! And just like that, a 2-1 lead, having been a goal down only 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, that Team Meyler's quieting down a little bit there. They're not. No, I think the changes at half time. Well done, Team Stephanie. They made some changes and got themselves right back in this game.
So Ireland now find themselves 2-1 down inside of this game. Team Ciaran with a little bit of work to do, but they have possession. They've got an overlap again. Seamus Coleman strays offside, but he's going to play it in through to Obafemi now instead, but he's only got one player to aim for in the box. Makes it to Coleman. Lays it to Josh Cullen at the edge of the box. Now James McLean maybe with a chance.
Oh, referee, that has to be no.
So, first free kick of the game, Damien, was a goal.
Looks like Seamus leaves it.
James McLean with a shot.
Yeah, that looked a little bit disjointed. I'm not sure they'd worked on that one previously. Good save.
Great effort. So 60 minutes on the clock now, 2-1 to Romania in this game as Team Tyrone have a good lead, but the short corner routine doesn't quite work, and chance now for Ireland to win the ball back. Cullen plays it in, but it's blocked, and it's recovered now by Camora, the goal scorer for Romania. So, Damien, as the ball just goes out for a goal kick, when you're 2-1 down in a game like this, would you be rushing to change the tactics early on, or would you give it another few minutes and maybe start making
you'd be looking to change it. I mean, we spoke about the importance of getting off to a good start, especially if the underdog wins the first game. You could be under an awful lot of pressure, but Ireland really haven't come out in the second half. They've been very, very, very defensive, so I'm not sure what changes they made at half-time, I wonder. And here we go again, some tactical changes from Ireland to try and get themselves back in, and let's see what they do.
Flat back, 4-4-2 as well, where it looks like it's a 4-2-2 on the other side of things. Where do you think the 4-4-2 kind of lies when it comes to formations in football at the minute, Damien?
Listen, there's not many teams in world football play 4-4-2 anymore. Two central midfield players is very, very difficult to play in modern day football, because if you don't have the ball, it's very, very hard. So most teams now try to get three central midfield players in there, and maybe that's where Romania have got the upper hand with that numerical advantage in the middle of the park. But there's still time for Ireland. We'll see how these changes work out.
So, little change from Romania as well as they add more men in the back, but a chance now for Ireland as the ball's driven into the bottom left corner, and Obafemi puts it 2-2 as the tactical changes seem to have an instant success.
I'm not sure what happened to Romanian centre backs there. Both of them disappeared out of shot, and it was the easiest to pass into to Obafemi, and took his chance brilliantly. But here come Romania now.
Ball robbed though by Martin in midfield. Tries to play the ball off balance, but it's won back by Ireland. Obafemi begins making a run, gets the ball to feet, and now he's got Ogben making the way down the wing, and that's a man with plenty of pace to burn, but he's running into a bit of a corner, plays it inside.
Brilliant.
Callum Robertson to Obafemi to Brown. Brown shoots, Brown scores, and Ireland 3-2 up.
Brilliant. Looked like O'Bennett was running out of real estate. All right, Dave. Looked like O'Bennett was running out of real estate, but they worked on really well across the 18-yard box to create that opening, and 2-1 down to 3-2 up in the space of 2 or 3 minutes. Brilliant.
And then David, obviously, with a little shush celebration to the side as well after taking that lead.
That was more you than me.
So McLean now, with the ball at his feet, plays it into Brown once more as Ireland maybe look to take some of the sting out of this game by just keeping some possession. 15 minutes left to go, but as you know, Damien, in FIFA, those 10 minutes, they go by very quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. Romania now need to gather themselves. There's still time for them. They need to get that ball back though, but here come Ireland again. They really have recovered well from going 2-1 down. Again, the centre-backs disappear. I'm not sure what Romania did in that tactical change after 65 minutes, but the centre-backs have gone missing.
Yeah, I don't think the plan has quite gone to the script here for Romania, but Team Ciaran pretty happy. They have another chance down the wing, but McLean, the stamina bar is looking pretty low now as he goes to the outside of the foot, and it just goes wide by a couple of feet. But that's another chance. Maybe the pass was a better option.
Yeah, I think so. But you really have to look at that Romanian defence. Gaping holes appearing in front of the goal. Irish players having a free for all. Can Romania get one back?
Well, there's a big hole here for Marion to run into, but Egan will get the foot in and win the ball back now for Team Ciaran, who've just got 5 minutes to hold on with a 4-2 lead. Ball sprayed out to Coleman on the wing, plays it forward again to Ogben, who is just going to get tackled, but this will suit Ireland, the ball going out of the play.
Absolutely, they've taken this thing out of this game. They got their lead, and now they're just maintaining possession. Romania look a little bit dispirited.
Obafemi with the ball at feet, plays it forward again, and just a chance to keep possession, but he tries to find the early pass, and Romania, now you feel like the time is running out, but it's won back by Seamus Coleman. Switches the play over to McLean. Back inside now to Brown, and he's just going to sit, wait, bide his time. McLean goes through and goal. The ball's going to be saved, but it breaks, and it is a goal for Ireland. 5-2, as they look like they've all but sealed victory.
Yeah, that's surely that now. Yeah, brilliant from Ireland. Alan Brown getting the goal there, but really well worked move again. As you see, there's those big gaping holes. They really have lost an awful lot of players in the middle of the pitch.
So I don't know what you know about FIFA, Damien, but that's probably one of those FIFA goals I've ever seen in my life. Goalkeeper saves it, breaks to a striker in the open to tap it in. So teamwork after game one, as we just wait for the final whistle to blow, which just now has done. It does look like Ireland had the much better when it came to pressing and working as a team. Yeah, but I think Romania will be very, very disappointed, having got their noses in front, worked really hard to get back in the game. I'm not sure, I couldn't quite keep up with the tactical changes after 65 minutes, but whatever happened, Team Ireland got themselves back in it, and convincing winners in the end. Yeah, very strong performance. Now, the big thing for me is the standard of the teams is going to go up now over the rest of the day, because up next we've got the US women's national team taking on the English women's national team. You get the feeling, though, that some of the chances that went unpunished in the first game, they're definitely going to get punished this time around with a higher caliber of player on the pitch. I think so too, but again, I can't help but think that it's tactics. Tactics are going to be huge, and how these guys set their teams up to gain those advantages. But it'll be interesting now to see how the lads react. You know, that was a pretty convincing thumping they took there, 5-2. So it'll be interesting to see how they react for the second game. Definitely will be. Well, we're going to jump into a quick break, and when we come back, we'll have a quick chat with the two sides after game one.
Every player has that one thing they need to compete at the highest level. What's yours? Bring your A game with 99.9% broadband reliability. Virgin Media. Bring on amazing.
So, Ciaran, 5-2 scoreline against your colleague on the other side in game number one, after he said it was going to be a 2-0 whitewash. How does it feel?
Yeah, look, it feels great. I think it kind of went as expected. When me and David got a bit of a rhythm going, got a bit more chemistry on the pitch, we started to take over. I'm just hoping to put it to bed now, put the best of three series to bed in this game. There'll be no dramas here, like we're just going to finish the job and cement the trophy in this game.
Well, that's very confident. David, changes were made around the 65th minute whenever you were trailing 2-1. It really had a massive impact on the game. For the viewers at home or anyone who might have missed, what changes did you make to the style of play?
Well, obviously we were ahead at half time and we looked to be more conservative. Obviously we've got players going forward. We wanted to kind of keep them back in. But at the same time then they pushed on, and then we decided we're going to push back on. And then obviously, as you said in commentary there, the holes appeared. There was gaps there. We attacked, and when you get chances, you've got to take them in this game.
What was it like playing when you can hear the two commentators who really don't know what they're talking about the gameplay?
Well, no, I was actually very impressed with the co-commentator. I'm not sure about the commentator. Thought his analysis was very good. It was very accurate. But he's well experienced and obviously playing and doing all of his work with Virgin. There was a couple of comments came in our direction when we were 2-1 down, but we were always confident, obviously, throughout the duration of the match that we would come out on top.
Well, that was Team Ciaran. Let's move on over on the sofa to talk to Team Tyrone after what was a interesting game one. They said they were going to sweep this series 2-0 with a 3-0 victory in our first game of the night. That comment didn't really age too well, did it?
No, but then again, they got 1 or 2 lucky goals. I reckon they're not as good as what they're letting on. And this game, hopefully, we can win.
So, Stephanie, that game didn't quite go to plan, but I feel like you were the driving force for every good thing you did. Does Tyrone really need to step his game up for this one?
No, I think he held us clear in the first game, to be fair. I was just finding my feet, so second game now, I'm ready to go.
Well, that's it. It is a best of 3, so if you are at home, remember the first game just gets you on to match point first. You still need to win another game to win the Bring Your A Game Cup. So, any last words before we jump into USA Women's National Team against England?
Best of luck, lads. You need it.
I like it. Confident words again. Well, look, we're going to jump back over to the desk, and when we come back, we'll have game number 2 of the day. So here we go, and the game will be played in Seattle as well. Stadium, I don't think you've had the joys of playing in the past at the Crow's Nest, but it's going to be the US women's team taking on England. Game number 1, there was a bit of an Irish bias. Will there be a bit of a USA bias in this one?
I think so. I think the home advantage as well for the USA could prove the difference. Early chance here for the US. And that's pretty good defending there from Bright as England come away now.
So early on again, wing play seems to be the primary goal of these sides as they look to create gaps and make their way in behind, but the ball's going to be broken out. And, you know, the US Women's National Team, they've had a lot of positive things in the past, and looking at the rating of these players that are on the field, this could be a very fun game to watch as Smith drives inside, but the ball will be won back and bronze will begin to work out. Bronze, that's funny. Most of your cards in FIFA, Damien, were around that level.
Is that good or not, bronze?
Better than I would have been. So, as we move on into this one, Damien, it's 8 minutes gone. Not a lot of action really to talk about so far, but there's a chance for England maybe to let go from range, but strong defending again as they look to make it forward. And really, the pace of this game seems much higher than the previous one.
Yeah, you can see the difference in quality as USA worked this one really, really well in a nice little pocket of space. England under pressure, tucks inside brilliantly. Can they get a shot off? Oh, what
great
a save. Excellent save. Should be out for a corner out to the US. First real chance of the game.
Would you be worried about how much distance they were able to carry the ball there without even having been forced to play a pass?
Yeah, this is outrageous. Outrageous.
Damien?
Something's outrageous. I'm not sure what, but...
Oh,
wonderful.
Chance.
Great chance. Surely, yes. 1-0 USA.
Little fist pump there as they take the lead, and
Team Ciaran not happy about something. We'll have to find out after the game what took place there.
but is it Team Ciaran or is it just David?
I don't know, David seemed unhappy, but
No
England
team there.
England at 6s and 7s there can't quite get organised. In fairness, quite fortunate.
And it's a big start for the United States as well, because at the end of the day, this is a best of 3 series. They lost the first series to Team Tyrone, so it's very important that they manage to scrape away the win here, because we will see all 3 games. But if the US don't win this game, the last one just becomes a bit of a show match.
Yeah, the USA with their noses in front now. See if they can learn from the previous game where they got their noses in front and couldn't quite handle it and fell apart defensively. Good work again from Bright. England now trying to find a way back into this game.
Oh, great pass out wide, but they let the ball go through the legs, maybe trying to get some space, and didn't quite work out there for England.
No, you see David and Ciaran having a little whispering session there, seeing what they can do to get back into this game, because they've had no impact on it so far. It's been all the US.
Sullivan plays it through, and there's a chance
brilliant.
now. Oh, good defending again. So
Good high press again from the US, trying to win that ball back, trying to get some joy. Can England work it round? Oh, they win it back high up the pitch again. As I was saying, can England find a way to beat that press and find a way to land some blows on this USA defence? But comfortable stuff again from the US.
the high press, we keep speaking about it, and I think one thing that real football, you know, like playing in the real pitch and playing in FIFA, is that it can be very effective, the high press, Damien, but at the same time, it can put you under pressure if they beat that front line.
Yeah, it leaves you exposed, and that's the risk reward. Wonderful header there, but again, the US finding space down the wings with a great cross inside.
Oh, big chance.
In. Not onside, 1v1. Surely has to be.
Whoa.
Well done, goalkeeper. I thought he could have took that shot off a little bit earlier, could have carried it a bit further forward. Again, short corners seem to be very prevalent in this game, and why not when they leave it 2v1? Super effort there. Can't quite get it on target.
That was a big chance there for England, though, to get the sides level.
Yeah, I think the USA look very, very comfortable in possession, though. The way they're switching that ball around, one-touch football, working it back inside, trying to get England to run around and patiently probing for those gaps. Well tidied up there.
It's a poor pass there by England.
Surely,
that was a chance.
That was definitely David, anyway.
Thing is, though, we can't say anything bad about Tyrone or Ciaran because the owner of the org is a few feet away from us.
I hope that wasn't him. He'll be sacked in the war.
So, chance now again for England. The ball's played inside. The keeper comes off the line bravely and wins that ball. But England are starting to play themselves into the game, and it looks like they're just being more calm in possession.
Yeah, they're starting to get a foothold in it, in fairness to them. But the US still defending resolutely. Again, another turnover in the middle third of the pitch, and they're off on the counter-attack now. Can she work across in? Have the USA got enough bodies in there? No.
England now with the chances. The player runs them behind. There's the decision to be made for the right back, who elects now to push in towards the ball carrier. Ball played inside now. Hemp out on the wing has the chance to maybe whip in across. Little ball roll, but it's going to be won back by England again. But high pressure sees the USA win possession again. But just
a couple of minutes, a big couple of minutes now for Team USA. Can they get the half time with their noses in front? They've done really, really well in this first half.
Some allegations being made from the sofa about the clock and how it's being used up here for USA, but with a step over, there's a chance to play a ball through. Possession's retained, but England win the ball back. We're inside the 45th minute now as the 1 minute clock comes up, and it looks like Team Tyrone will do well to see the clock out, because I don't know if you know, Damien, but there's just this thing in FIFA where you feel like inside of added time, you're way more likely to concede.
Yeah, I'm not sure who just... Yeah.
I think the workers are blaming their tools here, Damien.
Yeah, look, I think we're going to tactical steer. We'll try and keep up what's happening as both teams look to make changes. See if they can get the upper hand. England really do need to find a way to get into this game. The USA comfortable, back five for USA, very, very comfortable. Never really any under pressure, only that one opportunity. With the USA, certainly the high press is very, very good for them.
Now, it was after this stage in Game 1 where Team Tyrone came back from a 1-0 deficit to go 2-1 up, and then things kind of fell a little bit awry as maybe they tried to be too clever with some of the tactical changes.
Yeah.
If you're Team Ciaran right now and you're sitting there with David on the sofa, do you feel like you can still play into that, you know, that resolution that you had in game number 1 to try win this game?
It goes back to what we spoke about beforehand. They can't seem to get a foothold in it, so they got to be. Oh, there it is again. Tactical changes seem to be playing into it, but you got to be manager, player. You're in charge of that controller. You're in charge of everything. That's one thing I've definitely noticed. So you got to be thinking tactically, how do we work ourselves into this, or how do we stem the flow from the US in that first half? The change is certainly playing dividends straight away for England. They tied up at 1-1.
Yeah, and as it stands at 1 each, none of these sides are going to win the series just yet. There's a chance here for
it's
USA.
Still there. It's still there. Oh.
So, Damien, you're playing centre half. You see your forward messing about like that in the box with an open goal. What are you saying?
Well, I suppose, first of all, England could have cleared it, and they didn't. They ended up losing the ball in their own 6-yard box, and they're in again.
Oh, guilty of overplaying maybe just a little bit?
Yeah, a little bit. I just wonder the US will regret not taking that chance. You know, guilt-edged chance, 6-yard box, goal wide open. Just took that extra touch, and I wonder will they regret it. But here they come now and just overruns it out of play.
England with the throw need to be careful when they put this back into play that they retain possession, because if they lose it, USA will get the ball in a very dangerous area. The ball's thrown long and it's won back by USA. Horan now with the ball at feet. Plenty of space to run into. There's support on the wing, but electing not to pass the ball just yet. Maybe just delaying Damien for those attacking players to get into space, but then just running into trouble.
I think England made some defensive changes. They certainly seem to have more numbers back defending there. There wasn't a whole pile of options for the US. As that one runs out for a corner, I wonder will they go short? Certainly seems to be a tactic, but when the defending team only sends one out, why wouldn't you? And he puts this one in, and ball's cleared. Kept alive though, trying to create pressure. Goalkeeper doesn't gather. 50-50. England recover it and clear.
Getting numbers forward now, England trying to create a chance as the ball's played, but it's going to be won back by England, but the defender keeps a bit of composure, wins the ball back.
Oh,
USA.
what's a pass. Brilliant pass. Finds US player in the pocket. Waits for the overlap.
Hemp into Stanway. They've got a runner just ahead. The ball will be played through, and there's a bit of a foot race now towards the edge of the box. England drawing this game one
brilliant.
each. But
excellent stuff. Wins it back. Read it like a book. Unfortunately, just turn her over there, Stephanie.
But a name drop in there as a chance is given away.
Oh, brilliant. Excellent stuff. Unlucky. 20 minutes to go. See if we can find a winner here. England certainly have more of a say in the second half than they did in the first.
Oh, risky pass.
Very nearly got cut out. Oh, great ball. Lovely touch. Oh, wonderful. Unlucky. Nice one-touch play there from the US, working it wide inside. Third man run. But well defended by England. US, I must say the US defenders have been incredible in this game. Defended so much better than they did in the first game. Nice ball played forward there.
Chance now with the shot, but it's going to be blocked by the defender when there was two players.
Yeah, there was a 2v1 on the back post, you're right. I wonder if you got their head up and worked that, they would have had a better opportunity. Not too many England players flooding forward in the attacks. I've certainly noticed that. Taking their time in getting there. They've had 1v1s, but not enough support. Can they work it?
Oh, stepped inside.
Brilliant.
Shot.
Was that you, Dave? Was that, no. Was that you? Yeah. Exceptional stuff. Team USA. Again, another lead given up. And tactically, they need to make some changes because this is it. They only got 10 minutes or so to get themselves back in it.
And if you're watching the tactical setup from the English side, Damien, they're telling a lot of these players to start coming back on defences. They definitely look to, to hold what they have.
Yeah, they made that mistake in the first game, though. Dave said in the post-match interview that when they got nose in front, they went a little bit defensive, invited too much pressure. And Romania got the nose in front, and they were quite fortunate to get back in and win it. So we'll see. There's only 10 minutes to go in this game.
Team Ciaran just 10 minutes away from winning the inaugural Bring Your A-Game Cup. USA, led by Tyrone and Stephanie, they need to really reach deep now if they want to stay inside the fixture. Just 7 in-game minutes to go, and that will go by in the blink of an eye. But look at England, there's just no space. The midfield, well, a good driven ball played through, and maybe there will be a chance.
Oh, brilliant. Excellent. And yes, you're quite right. So many defenders back. England just sitting on their lead, and they invited that pressure, made the exact same mistake in the first game. And now they're changing to go more on the front foot. I certainly think England were much better for that second half period when they had the attackers on the pitch.
Well, the US side now, they were constant pressure there in the tactics to really put it towards England to try get the leveller, and now that the sides score is 2-2, they'll go back more to a more balanced approach. 5 minutes left to go, and Damon, I think this is where concentration really kicks in the last couple of minutes of the game.
Here we go. Nice little ball inside there. Can they work it again with a drag back ball? What's a save? Super chance.
2 big saves now the USA goalkeeper's made.
Short corner again by England. Harmless into the side netting. Goalkeeper had that one covered. Can we find a winner? 2 in-game minutes left.
Neither side really pushing too hard to win this one. As we enter the 90th minute, there will be 1 minute of added time to see if one of these sides can steal a win before we go to extra time. And there we'll be going to extra time. So, this is where fatigue for the players does come in. You look at the stamina bars of a lot of these players, Damien, and they're starting to look a little bit low.
Yeah, I mean, look, both teams have got an opportunity now. Do they change tactic, get more attackers on the pitch and really go and try and win it? I think the United States need that win to take it to that 3rd and final game. England certainly toying with their tactics in both games. We'll see how it plays out.
Do you want penalties, Damien?
Penalties is a very, very tough way to decide a game, but you have to have a winner. It'll be exciting for the viewer at home. But I think both teams have enough to get a goal in extra time, so hopefully we will get a winner.
Throw is taken. Possession won back by England. Now just inside the USA half. Ball played forward to Mead. Mead plays to Stanway. Good defending.
What's a block. Incredible block. Shut that window very, very quickly.
And it is kind of the role of that defender, isn't it, to cut off the far side of the net, because the goalkeeper, his job, nothing goes in that near post.
Yeah, it's just like real life defending. It's your job to cut off one side and the goalkeeper the other. England now winning the ball back high up the pitch and putting the US under pressure. Can they work an opening here? Plenty of attackers in good positions. Well worked again. And superb defending again from the US. They really have been good at that tonight. Can they counter now?
USA trying to get bodies forward as the ball's played through, and they've got 2 players up on the back line of England. Ball played out to the wing. Possession stays in, but at the last second it just goes out for a throw, and there was a chance there, Damien.
Yeah, I'm disappointed there because they had a lot of green grass in front of her. Opportunity to create a chance, but unfortunately just overran it. Risky one across the face of goal there from England.
One back again by the US.
Yeah.
Lavelle has a lot of space and there's 2 players in the box, but the pass played just a little bit too early.
A little bit early, yeah. I had a lot more room to run into and give the attacking players a better opportunity. Again, the USA really, really impressed with them defensively. Winning the ball back again in the middle third. Unfortunately, didn't come off that time.
The one thing I will say, Damien, is the USA side, they've done a good job at one player always pressing and the other player tracking the running behind.
Yeah, they look the livelier team. They look more athletic, more dominant. The ball recoveries will be sky high, and they've worked really, really well. But here we go, last half of the extra time. Can we get a winner?
So at this point of a game, a tactic that people would use in FIFA quite a bit, and it's something you see managers do in real life too, is you bring on the speedsters, the players who are going to really force the issue and get in behind.
Yeah, absolutely. But speedsters are usually only speedsters going in one direction, and they often don't run back. So you can't leave yourself vulnerable this late in the game with tired legs, players with the energy bar, as you said, down quite low. Mistakes will be made. So getting the balance right of trying to go and win the game, but making sure that you don't leave the back door open. Wonderful ball again. Those US defenders have been very, very impressive.
Step over there as they look to drive in towards the back line, but it's well defended again by Team Tyrone. Ball played across. Now England trying to stretch the pitch just a little bit with players running in behind, but good defensive awareness again from the side of Team Ciaran. Ball played forward.
Great ball. Nice little pocket found there. Our referee certainly looked like a foul from where we were.
So you know yourself, referees never get anything wrong, Damien.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
So we're entering the final 5 minutes of this one, 115 minutes almost played. So that's all that separates us from extra time. But
steal,
USA
2v2. Can they?
Big mistake, but there's
Big
no
mistake.
support.
That's the late, that late in the game, tired legs, works it brilliantly. Oh, what a drag back! Unlucky.
Penalty.
Penalty. Oh, let's have a look at this. No, wow, that's a very, 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 very soft decision. Thought it looked like a good block from where I was.
So
Stephanie's taking it.
Pressure on right now. This penalty, the big chance for Stephanie. The bar's been hit. She makes change direction and the keeper saves it, Damien.
Stephanie went down the middle. Goalkeeper read it. Always not a good look when you go down the middle with only pace. Can they still get a win in 119 minutes? They got 3 players in the boxes. They're across to come.
Cut back comes out the
Surely,
ball.
yes! Well done, Steph. Was that you? Tyrone looked like he was going to kill you there.
Went a little left, just didn't go all the way to the corner. So we get ready now. Well,
super for the fans. Winner takes all in the third game. Momentum, as I said at the top of the show, huge now.
So now we see a little bit of chance, but no. Game's done. The one thing I will say is that was a much tighter game.
Absolutely.
Than the first one.
Yeah, much better showing from Team Tyrone. Stephanie really getting the hang of this game now. She's look at her over there, really proud of herself. I think we judged it too quickly, Steph.
Well, we get ready for the third game, which will be France against Germany. It'll be Germany against Brazil.
Yeah.
Now, Brazil are a side that a lot of people are looking at in the World Cup as well as one that could potentially go and win it all.
Yeah.
Which of these two teams, if you were to be playing in the server right now, which would you rather have?
Oh, Brazil. Everybody, just for the style, the way they go about it. Obviously the Germans are a very, very good team as well. But Brazil, I think Brazil hold a special place in most people's heart just for the type of football that they play and the way they approach the game, the carefree nature that they have towards football. Germans at times can be a little bit harsh and not so easy on the eye. So I'm not sure who's Brazil and who's Team Ciaran's Germany.
Looks that way, but last time, one of the last times he's played.
I think there's been a late change here. Belgium might be.
I think they're still trying to decide who's who, Damien. But
No, I think
well, with that, guys, we're going to jump into a quick break, and when we come back, we'll have game 3.
Every player has that one thing they need to compete at the highest level. What's yours? Bring your A game with 99.9% broadband reliability. Virgin Media. Bring on amazing. Every player has that one thing they need to compete at the highest level. What's yours? Bring your A game with 99.9% broadband reliability. Virgin Media. Bring on amazing.
For every gamer and every eSports player, you need to put in a lot of hours, a lot of grind. You need to have some amount of natural ability, but it will never just carry you through. I mean, professional gaming is so competitive. You need to be fully focused. I think you need a lot of mental toughness. I train, I practice, I get better, and I compete.
It's a 99% mental game and 1% skill-based game. You need to believe in yourself that you can win the big tournaments and that you can compete against the best players in Europe and the world. We have our internet broadband, our PS5, our gaming chairs, our monitors. We need that to bring our A game to the table and win as many games as possible.
after game number 2, the sides are level at 1 match apiece. But for everyone at home, it really looked like that last one could have been snuck away by England.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what happened. You know, the corner.
Well, I know
It was a bit of a corner tactic.
I know what happened, partner.
Go on.
the fans at home want to see 3 games, so we left them win. Make it a bit more dramatic.
Listen, when I said
just make a bit more dramatic.
When
That's
they said
all
there'd
it
be no
was.
dramas, I was told we have to have some drama apparently for the show. But this time, definitely no dramas. 100%.
Ciaran was told to give away a penalty, so we gave them a penalty. You know, I mean, we gave him a 120-minute winner. You know yourself.
That's the streamer in you there, isn't it? Looking for more content to make the game a little bit better. But going into this third one, it's just winner takes all from this point on. You're going to be playing with the Germany side. Are you happy with that decision?
Yeah, well, last time I played against Germany, we beat them 1-0 with Ireland, so hopefully they can perform a little bit better than this.
A couple of good results for Ireland against Germany in competitive games down the years, hasn't there been? So that's it from Team Ciaran. But let's talk to Team Tyrone. 119th minute. Penalty taken by Stephanie Roche. 119th minute. Penalty missed by Stephanie Roche. But from the keeper's save, the ball was won back. How much relief was there when you scored that goal at the end?
Yeah, there was huge relief, I'm not going to lie. I got my penalty all wrong and thankfully got the opportunity to redeem myself.
And for Tyrone, you stepped your game up a little bit in that last one. You were able to back the words at the start of the show. This is it though. This is you against Ciaran. Last game of the series to take bragging rights within the org of Wylde. How excited are you for this?
Very excited. Me and him have been here before in the E-League of Ireland, and I obviously came out on top, and hopefully I'll come out on top here now today and win.
Well, confident words there, but we're not going to make this delay any longer. We're going to jump into a couple of seconds break. When we come back, we'll have game number 3 of the series. So here we are, Damien. This is it, the third and final game of the series. Little change to the schedule. It won't be Brazil. It'll be England playing on the side of Gain. So Germany-England, though, another historic game.
Yeah, absolutely. A game with so much history and importance to it. Be interesting to see how both teams setting up there. I was just trying to catch a glimpse. Germany setting up with a flat 4-4-2 and Thomas Muller on the right wing of all places. Interesting to see that, see how the Team Tyrone counteract that. We're ready to get going.
I think one thing that you'd definitely be happy with if you're Germany is the fact you've Neuer on goal as well. He's a bit of a behemoth in the sticks, and I think, both in game and in real life, Pickford has his moments.
Yeah, absolutely. But Germany on the front foot straight away. Certainly Team Ciaran look to prefer the wingers option. They do play with it. Not sure why Thomas Muller is over on the right wing at his age and his lack of legs. I don't think he'll give you the penetration you want. He's normally better in the number 10 role. Here come England, Rudiger.
I think, though, maybe the one thing we could say is the way that Team Ciaran play, pace hasn't really been key in either of the 3 games down the wings. It's been about good positioning and good space. That's the one thing about Thomas Muller. He's got really good attack position and he knows how to find space.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. I get it, but it's just Thomas Muller's a goal scorer. You want him in between the width of the goal when crosses are coming in. Oh, what a chance. What a wonderful ball in there from Declan Rice. I think it was Sterling with the header. Couldn't quite get it on target.
Great kick out there. Good distribution as there's a chance now for Germany on the ball, but it's played back to Kerr. Hoffman now on the wing, plays it inside the Timo Werner. Plays a good driven ball into Sané. Sané cuts inside. He's got a chance, but he steps
opened up
back.
for him. Oh, wow. The gap appeared, but he just had to drag back too many.
You see this all the time in competitive FIFA and in football too. Players trying to be too clever whenever the easy option's there.
Just go for the goal. Oh, what a turn that was from Sterling. Really prominent in the early stages of this one. But again, an uptick in quality from the second game again.
Germany driving down the wing. Sané makes a diagonal run inside. The ball's played to Werner now again, but he's just crowded out by England defensive midfielder.
Oh, Harry Kane, what a ball. And there's Raheem one-on-one. Must be. Brilliant finish.
And that's just Harry Kane.
Made me, absolutely. Harry Kane dropping deep into the pocket. Super little turn. And he slipped it in. It didn't matter. Sterling one-on-one. Yeah, I'm with you, Steph.
And you think of anybody who knew to play to the whistle, it'd be David Meyler.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think he could have done much anyway. Sterling with his pace, half the pitch to run into. There's a lovely little slip ball. Whether he stopped or not, it makes no difference. With a lovely touch to take it across the defender and neat and tidy finish. Germany with it all to do.
And that's the thing, Harry Kane for Spurs and in FIFA with his position as well. He's got this habit and real knack of picking up the ball between the lines and then picking out a final pass. How difficult is it to play against someone like that?
It's very difficult, but when Harry Kane drops deep, they always have the option of the runner in behind. That's what England had there. If he drops deep and Raheem Sterling doesn't make that run, here come Germany again. Another good opportunity. 1-1, wonderful. Again, the centre-back's just disappearing for England. Parting ways there and massive gaps. But again, a good finish.
Sané reads the play and it's played forward now to Gnabry, who just scored the equaliser for Germany. He's got space ahead of him in the box, but the touch is heavy. Tries to cut it back to the edge, but it's well read by England. And now another chance to maybe build an attack.
End to end, much more open game this. Lots of chances. Certainly more level than the first two games.
Chilwell to Phillips. He's got space out on the wing. Another player maybe not used to finding the ball on the touchline, but he manages to take it past one.
It does brilliant. Really, really well to work that.
The touch, the save.
I thought it might have been a push in the box there. Harry Kane went to ground, didn't get it, but it still fashioned a chance. England winning the ball back. And here they come again.
Reminder, this is it. The winner of this game will win the Bring Your A Game Cup. England plays it out wide, hint of offside.
And offside, it did, yeah. Oh, here come the first raft of changes. Trying to keep an eye on both teams here. Calvin Phillips playing left wing back. Be interesting to see where he brings Saka in instead of him. Put Foden up front. Kane in the 10 position. Yeah. Much more pace now on that left wing with Bakary Saka instead of Calvin Phillips.
What do you think of the decision by... Well,
they're in again, Germany. What a save. After you just criticised Pickford.
Big save.
Wonderful save. And Declan Rice done brilliant there. Does that job so well. Screen in front of the back four.
So one thing England are doing, Team Tyrone, they play 5 at the back. Every single game so far. What do you think of the decision to play Chilwell, a more natural wing back as the third centre back?
Yeah, I'm not averse to that. I think it's not the worst decision in the world. They obviously have a lot more mobility than the natural centre backs, and again they have the ability to step in. I think that's key when you play 3 at the back. The outside centre backs have to have the freedom to step in and create problems for the opposition midfield. And when you play full backs in those positions, you can do that as opposed to natural centre backs. As they get another chance again, it's the third time.
Great
yeah,
finish.
There's definitely something wrong there in the England defence, the way they work that from the right side across. When you have 3 centre-backs, centre-forwards can't get that much space on the edge of your own box. Germany 2-1.
2-1 lead as we get close to half-time now, as there's very little football left to be played. Werner will run down the wing. He's got absolute bunches of pace now to carry the ball, but he'll wait for support. Plays at the Kerrer. Another fantastic young player coming from Germany. Gosens now on the wing, inside the Musiala to Sané, in towards Kimmich. Kimmich with the shot, but it's saved.
Pickford, man of the match. Brilliantly worked from Germany that one. Pickford with another world-class save.
Short corner taken, played towards Kimmich now, inside the Sané, but he cuts back in towards the pressure. Gnabry retains possession though for Germany. Kimmich cuts inside, plays the ball through to Sané.
Yeah.
And it's half time.
Yeah.
Keeper's the story of the day though. Neuer's made a big save and Pickford's made 2.
Pickford's made 2 world-class saves there. I wonder what changes England might look to make here. Again, they made that switch. Harry Maguire into midfield. Surely not.
I think we're going to see Bellingham coming on here instead. So, as we watch this again, a lot of tactical changes made at half-time.
Absolutely, yeah. And it seems to be on the back of tactical changes, there's an immediate uptick in ascendancy and goals are conceded straight away. So that just shows how important it is to recognise that, and then the opposition team have to deal with it.
Bellingham is going to come onto the fray, as is Jack Grealish. Sterling now running towards the byline, cuts it back, trying to make some space to keep possession. Kyle Walker now plays it into Mason Mount. Mason Mount, maybe a hint of a foul there, but it's not given by the ref, and Germany win the ball back.
Positive start to the half from England. They need it.
Sané with acres of space ahead of him, driving towards the byline again, cuts it back inside, but Werner cannot get the touch, and England win possession again.
Good defending, Kyle Walker there. Got to stop that shot really, really quickly, and Pickford tidied it up. Oh, nice turn. Looking for an option, looking for a pass. Not a whole pile on at the moment, so we might as well keep going himself. Great run. Oh, referee had to be.
Good ball played forward. Werner now again gets inside the box. Ball rolls inside.
Oh, Declan Rice, super stuff. And picks a wonderful pass as well and sets England on the attack.
Good ball played out to the wing. Saka now running down. Star for Arsenal, playing some fantastic football at the moment. Cuts back inside. Plays the ball in towards Jack Grealish. Jack Grealish driving towards the 6-yard box, but big save from Neuer, breaks, and he hits the bar. Oh, you'd be disappointed after that one.
Great move. It all came from Declan Rice, one out here in the left-back position, and they moved the ball through the thirds really, really quickly and fashioned a chance. You know, you can say it was unlucky, but it was a gaping goal. Had to score it. Unfortunately, couldn't keep the shot down, hit the crossbar and comes back out.
Yeah, and that was a big chance for England. Team Ciaran trail this fixture now. Ball played forward. Werner inside the box, has a great chance, and he just doesn't have the composure to hit the target.
Yeah, absolutely. He presented himself, kind of sums up Werner's time when he was at Chelsea as well. Lots of opportunities, couldn't quite score.
Ball won back by England, trailing 2-1 with just over 25 minutes left to play. England get possession. Stone, maybe an unnatural position over on that right wing, plays the ball through over the top, and it's a foot race here between Sterling and Rudiger. And a bit of strength shown as the ball goes out for a throw into England.
England get the throw in as well.
Mm-hmm. Chilwell plays it inside, won by Musiala. Fantastic young player, that kid.
Yeah. Even in this World Cup now, Germany seem very reliant on him playing well. Werner again with a strike from an awkward angle. Probably better off having another touch and trying to find a teammate in the edge of the box with a pullback there. Very, very difficult to score from that angle.
Kyle Walker carrying it out of defence, plays it to Declan Rice. Germany putting a 3-man press here at the forward line, but Chilwell manages to just dribble his way out of trouble. Plays the ball through. That's a good ball. Oh, he's offside again.
Oh, here comes changes. England need to do something. Maybe Harry Maguire midfield might be a good idea.
I'd say much like the World Cup, if Harry Maguire ends up playing in midfield, there's probably something wrong.
Yeah, I think so. Couldn't quite see what they did there. Gnabry now over onto the right wing. I think that's a smart switch from the Germans.
Yeah, I think they were playing Gnabry through the middle, trying to create opportunities, isolate on the pace.
Yeah.
It didn't really come to work that way, so I think putting Thomas Müller, a more natural player when it comes to picking up positions and making smart runs.
Yeah, Thomas Muller's a finisher, that's his best attribute, is scoring goals and popping up in the right position. I always felt he was wasted out here on the right side of midfield, but the lads will argue they're winning 2-1 and after 75 minutes, so they were justified in their selection. Here come Germany again. Kimmich.
Oh, there's a man through.
Excellent.
Chance now for Germany. Gosens, but he tried to slip it inside.
Pickford, man of the match, keeping England in this right now. 10 minutes to go.
Run triggered to go through. This is a chance for England, but the touch is heavy and Rudiger wins back possession. 10 minutes to go now in the Bring Your A Game Cup final.
Germany are in. Chance.
Werner again. Werner, it's another big save from Pickford, and the rebound is saved again, and it's a corner. But chance after chance.
Werner's got to take at least one of those chances. He's had 5 or 6. Can't quite get it in the net, but let's give Pickford credit. He's made some really, really good saves tonight.
Sané, ball rolling his way out of trouble. He's got acres of space inside the box, going to continue rolling the ball as he looks for an option, but it's won back by England. 5 minutes to go. Mount has got 2 players making the same run down the line, and you need to maybe stretch the field a bit more. Played forward to Phil Foden, but it's won back by Shula.
Brilliant. Resolute from Sula. Standing his ground, no way through. Into the dying seconds now. Need a miracle from England.
Wouldn't put it past this game having 89 on a penalty, would you?
No.
Chance though for Germany. Sané, he's got a man in the box, but he'll drive towards the goal line. Hits the shot, but it's blocked. And that's another big chance for Germany as we enter the 89th minute.
Still have possession. It's Werner. No panic. Werner runs it out over the end line. Can't believe he's still on the pitch, Werner, after what he's given the lads.
2 minutes added time to go. Kyle Walker plays it back to Stones for England. They need to find a chance, and they need to find it now as it's played forward. And it's going to be won back by Germany again. And with just 10 seconds left to go, all you got to do is keep possession. England win it back, but Germany win the second ball, kick it out of play, and the ref blows the final whistle, Damien, as we have our first ever Bring Your A-Game champions.
Yeah, absolutely. The lads did really, really well. Their second half performance there for Germany was brilliant. But in fairness to Tyrone and Stephanie, they gave it a really good goal. Steffi can be very, very proud of her after we all slaughtered her beforehand, saying that she wasn't going to be very good. But they made a game of it, and in fairness, it was very, very close.
It was a very good performance over the 3 games. One game maybe not so tight, but the other 2 games are a little bit tighter. So I'm going to ask you, player of the match over the course of the 3 games?
Stephanie, I think she's done great. You know, after missing the penalty late in the second game, to redeem herself and to score the winner in extra time was brilliant. And they made a real good goal over there in the final. And it could have went either way, but both teams did really, really well.
Really good performance, you got to say, and it was a great way to kick off our inaugural Bring Your A-Game Cup. And the thing is, you have winners, but you also have losers. So, you know, we're going to call them over. Come on, guys, let's get Team Ciaran in here, and we'll have a little bit of a chat. Runners up, let's go. Let's have a wee chat. Bring them in. So Tyrone, Stephanie, didn't quite go the way as we're planning to in that one, but you brought it all the way to the 3rd match, so you definitely had a good performance.
Yeah, disappointed because that last game, the one I hit the bar with, probably should have went in as well. So I feel like I let Tyrone down a little bit, but yeah, I think I held my own to a certain extent. Obviously, would have liked to have won, but yeah, happy enough.
So Tyrone, you've lost to Ciaran. Doesn't happen that often. You know, you gave it yourself. You said you won the eFootball, or won the League of Ireland e-tournament very recently, but for yourself, you still put on a good performance. You got to play with one of the best players Ireland's ever produced. How much fun was it to play the games here today?
No, it was very fun. And listen, Stephanie played well here. That chance there at the end should have went in. That's just the game. It's how it is. But no, we could be happy with how we played, and we just got unlucky.
Well, that's football. So before we talk to our winners, I want to see if either of you have any last words you want to say to the viewers at home.
Just I hope I done everyone proud trying to play the game. Obviously, I'm not as good as the other guys, but hopefully I can get a little bit more practice and come back next year and compete again against the 2 lads.
We'd love to see it. And what about you? Anything to say?
I just hope they enjoyed the games and all the good goals we scored.
Well, there you have it. But guys, there always has to be a winner of these tournaments as well. So we're going to jump to a quick break, and then we'll have the trophy ceremony. We'll see you guys in a few minutes.
Every player has that one thing they need to compete at the highest level. What's yours? Bring your A-game with 99.9% broadband reliability. Virgin Media. Bring on amazing.
And there you have it, guys. The first ever Bring Your A-Game Cup has been won by Team Ciaran. David Meyler and Ciaran, you had a fantastic game in that one, but it was really a tight run affair, wasn't it?
No. Simply because we were comfortable in game 1. And we were a bit lackadaisical in game 2. I think we just had a little chat there. We were a bit overconfident, and we basically caused ourselves too many problems. But then we simplified it going into game 3, and we were very comfortable. We had a lot of chances that I think we could have won that quite easily. So I'm just delighted that Ciaran has come up trump against Tyrone.
Yeah, and speaking of that, you beat your teammate. You've gone ahead to win it. It's bound to feel really good after the matchups you've had in the past.
Yeah, no, it does. It does, absolutely. No, I think we definitely deserved it. I mean, they came at us with some odd tactics, the 5 back, the corners been thrown in. You know, we just had to get through those moments, and yeah, we did as a team, so it's delighted to win.
Definitely so. Well, look, we have 2 fantastic trophies to give. We've got David here, one of the founders of Wylde, and we're going to have Claire pass the other trophy through. So I'm going to step away and let these players enjoy the moment.
David, thank you very much.
Closing piece.
So guys, what a tournament we had to kick off the inaugural Bring Your A Game Cup, which was brought to you by Virgin Media with over 99.9% coverage nationwide. It has been a fantastic night here. I want to thank all of the viewers at home. I want to thank our production crew. I want to give a massive thank you to Wylde and of course to Virgin Media. I've been Darren Gibson, but guys, bring your A game, have a great night, and we'll see you all again soon.